everybody, it's Sissa, and it's time for everybody's favorite episode of Drag Race, the Snatch Game! Which is why I'm in blonde, because for my Snatch Game, I'm doing your very own Graveyard Girl. Oh, she doesn't tongue pop. Whoops. Roll the tape. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm not going to stay in character because there's no way in hell, pun intended, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this for the whole video. But I thought it'd be really fun to do my intro different. And then I just like thought about it and I was like, should I come back with red hair or should I just do this whole episode blonde and be like really out of character? But I miss being blonde. So the first part of this episode, of course, is the reading mini challenge. As we all know, reading is fundamental, and I am so here for this. The reading challenge is honestly always the best challenge or mini challenge, because it's really where these girls kind of show, like, can you talk shit, but can you also take the shit talking? You know what I mean? And honestly, I have to say, I didn't see a lot of clunkers. I was kind of surprised. Like, you always see at least one or two that are just like, not so great. But I have to say, I was impressed this season. Like, I didn't really see anyone who was terrible. Cracker was really, really funny. Vixen was obviously a very good reader. I was kind of disappointed, though, because it seemed like they just really cut the mini challenge short, which is ironic because there was that one mini challenge where they were sitting on stuff, which I think was the last mini challenge, which I felt went on way too long. And then this challenge, which is so good, it's like they cut everyone down to like one or two jokes and you're like, girl, this is the best one. Like, you have to keep this going. And even if they're clunkers, like, I'd rather watch a clunker because at least you get to see it. You know what I mean? So it was really disappointing. And I was kind of gagged because Miss Eureka won the mini challenge, which of course the Vixen was not having. She was rolling her eyes, like she was not about it, which I get. Like, I didn't think Eureka's jokes were bad necessarily, but it was just like, yeah, I don't know if you were the best of all of those. Now, of course, we know this week's Maxi Challenge was finally the Snatch Game that we have all been waiting for. I know you've been waiting for it. I have been waiting for it. It's usually the 5th episode. I don't know why they waited till the 7th, but girl, I'm not even mad about it because this shit was good. So we got a little visit from Miss Bianca Del Rio, which I thought was really, really cute. And she got a chance to go around with Ru around the workroom and sort of see what the girls were planning on doing. And they actually showed a lot of the girls and what they were planning on doing, which was impressive to me. So Eureka was the first one up, and she had a few different characters in mind. She was originally either going to be Divine or Honey Boo Boo. And I have to say, her Divine was anything but. And so she ended up deciding to go with Honey Boo Boo. Monique had a tough challenge because she was choosing between Maxine Waters, who of course I love. She's amazing. And Cookie Lion, which is an interesting choice and probably would have been funnier than Maxine Waters ended up being, because even though her Reclaiming My Timeline is iconic, it's not necessarily funny. And the way she did it just ended up, you know, her look was on point. Like, let me just tell you, her look was fucking on point. I was impressed with that look. Like, I would not have clocked her as anyone but Maxine Waters. Like, she looked the part. But the performance really wasn't there, ultimately. You know, with Eureka, she did kind of very minimal, but she was really funny, and her performance was really, really good. And Monique, it was just really disappointing. So then we had Miss Asia O'Hara, who was choosing between Whitney and Beyonce, and honestly, Ru wasn't feeling either of them, especially because for Whitney, she wanted to do kind of more of a drugged out Whitney, and Ru's like, we're not doing that. And with Beyonce, it ended up, when she did Beyonce, it ended up being just very, like, I don't want to say dark, but it ended up being very, like, edgy and rough and kind of mean. And honestly, the way she did it, it just wasn't funny and it wasn't interesting. And this is now the third time someone's done Beyonce on the show series. And honestly, it's just, you need to stop at this point. I don't think you can reasonably do Beyonce anymore, because she's clearly a person who is a very private individual who we don't know a lot about. And I think in that way, you don't have a good idea of her personality. So you either have to go so far dramatic or just give it up and don't go for someone else. Then, of course, we had Miss Cracker as Dorothy Parker. I have to say, I honestly hate to admit this, I didn't know who that was. But I did think she was still really, really funny with her performance. She really did it well. I don't think she did anything that was super over the top or super, super interesting. It was kind of like, not middle of the road. It was good, but it wasn't like the best performance. Then, of course, we had Aquaria, who was Melania Trump. Now, I originally had some thoughts about this. I don't, you know, I'm not Aquaria's biggest fan anyway. I've made that very clear over the course of this series. I haven't been a fan of her. I haven't been a fan of her attitude. And the idea of her playing Melania, I was like, girl, there is no way this is going to be funny. I was like, this is a funny character if you can do it right. Obviously, SNL has been doing it for quite some time now, and they've done it really, really well. So if you can do it right, it can be very, very funny, and it's very topical, and it's very now, so it's appropriate. But I was like, I don't necessarily have confidence that Aquaria will be able to pull this off. And boy, did that bitch prove me wrong. I have to say, listen, I may not be her biggest fan, but props where props is due, bitch. You really turned that shit out, and I was very impressed with her, so I cannot say that I wasn't. Then we had Miss Vixen as Blue Ivy, and like Beyonce, I think that was a very questionable choice. I love the Vixen. I always think what she does is amazing, and I think this choice was not her best. There was almost no way she could have possibly done that funny. And then her banter back and forth with Asia as Beyonce, you think, okay, maybe this will go better. But honestly, it just came off like really uncomfortable and cringy, and not at all the type of mother you would think Beyonce would be, and certainly not the type of relationship you'd expect them to have. So it just came off like this really cringy thing that was painful to watch, and you're just like, oh, I don't feel good about this. Like, it wasn't funny in the least, so it was just like, ooh, girl, I don't know about this. Then we had Cameron as the wrestler Chyna. Now, I do not know anything about this person because I don't watch wrestling, but I do know that Cameron, I think, was really funny. I think she did this very well, so props to her. It was middle of the road. I mean, it wasn't like super funny. It was middle of the road, but I think she did very, very well. Then, of course, we had Miss Monet Exchange as Maya Angelou. And honestly, after the last Maya Angelou we had in season 3 of All Stars, I was a little worried because I was like, girl, I don't know how you think you're going to make her funny. But Monet, I think, studied as I mentioned in that video, she studied the Big Gay Sketch Show Maya, where you can do it really, really funny and really, like, you know, keep to who she is, but also really be funny. And Monet knocked it completely out of the ballpark for me. I thought she was really, really good. I thought she was really, really entertaining, and I have to give it up to her because she really turned that. Then we get to the runway, which this week's theme was Mermaid Fantasy a la Bette Midler. Now, this was an interesting runway because the girls were all paraded in on a wheelchair like Bette Midler was during her stage show when she did Mermaid. And I thought it was really cool how they got to be kind of brought in by the pit crew, and then when they were being judged, they got to sit down, which is something you don't often get to see for these girls, so I'm sure they really, really appreciated it. So of course, up first we have Mama Ru giving you some kind of nude illusion in the front with this dress. I adore this outfit and the way it looks. I think this is absolutely stunning. Mama Ru always looks stunning. Everything about this is so cute. So first up we have Miss Monique Hart, and honestly this is pretty cute. This is a cute look. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I know the judges weren't really impressed with it. Weren't really impressed with her performance, and certainly weren't really impressed with this. I thought it was a cute little look. It's simple. I don't think there's anything like particularly interesting. Her face is gorgeous. Her hair is gorgeous. Next up, we have Miss Cracker giving you She-Ra, giving you She-Ra mermaid fantasy realness. This is such a cute look. I absolutely love Miss Cracker in this look. I love everything about this. I love her little crown. I love the gorgeousness of her tail fin. Like, this is a look, bitch. She put this shit together. Next up, we have Miss Aquaria giving you oil spill realness. And honestly, girl, this is a look. Again, not Aquaria's biggest fan. But what I like about this is it's very political, which is very, very interesting, and I think always kind of important part of drag to do super political and talk about something that people don't really want to talk about. And it's interesting because in all the depictions we've seen of mermaids over the years in many, many facets, even in Dragula season 1, when their end challenge was to do a sea monster, we really didn't even see anything like this. This gives you like vaguely sea monster, but she's really giving you that I have been attacked by oil. Like, it's very tragic, and it's a side you don't see. Next up, we have Miss Asia O'Hara giving you actual Dragula realness with this face, bitch. She is serving it. This, okay, let me just tell you, okay, I am obsessed with this fish look because it's a mermaid that is not fucking pretty, okay? This mermaid looks terrifying. This is a mermaid you would not want to come across in the deep. This is like Harry Potter style mermaids where they're scary as a motherfucker and you don't know what's gonna happen. And I thought that was really, really interesting because that's something that's so different. Next up, we have the Vixen, and okay. Here's the thing. From the neck up, she's stunning. Her makeup is stunning. Her hair is stunning. Her crown is so adorable. But as the judges pointed out, her seashells on her boobs aren't really giving it to you. They're a little too far apart. They're not really connected enough that you get the idea that they're boobs. They just kind of look like they're just like sitting there. And then her actual tail fin, actually I don't think her tail fin was too bad. It was cute. It wasn't anything like interesting. It was cute though, but I think her top really screwed her up there, and it's really unfortunate. Next up, we have Miss Monet Exchange giving you Warrior Battle Royale mermaid realness, and this mermaid has seen some shit, girl. And I have to say, I'm really, really digging this. I thought it was so cool how she went for like a mermaid who'd really seen some shit. Like, she's got a tear down her face, she's got tear in her tail fin. Like, she looks like she has been through it, girl. This is a mermaid who has been wrung through the ringer, and as always, I love Monet, and I think this was definitely her week. She did really, really great in the challenge. Her outfit was really, really great, so I'm very, very impressed. Next up, we had Eureka O'Hara giving you kind of a leather nude illusion alternate Ursula, who is a little bit, you know, on the S&M side, and I'm not mad about it. I think it's a little plain comparatively, to be honest. I think when you've seen so many girls with so much color and so much brightness, this kind of like very black and nude look is just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of plain to me, and I'm just like, I feel like she could have done better and she could have added more color, so that's kind of my feelings on that. Next up we have Miss Cameron Michaels, and I have to be honest, I feel shady saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I often forget that Cameron is in this competition. She said multiple times that she is the quiet queen, and she proves that every single episode. She's so... I mean, she's going through, like, she's staying in it, but she's really forgettable. Like, some of her looks are cute, some of them are okay. This look is, like, very girly girl, very basic. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. It's a look. It's not cute, but it's not, like, super cute and interesting, and I really just think, overall, it's just middle of the road for me. So, ultimately, in the challenge... the judges really, really liked a lot of the queens. They loved Monet, they loved Eureka, they loved Aquaria, and ultimately it ended up that Aquaria, between her runway look of the oil slick and her performance as Melania, did in fact win. And I actually have to say, you know what, bitch, you earned that win. That was a good look. So congratulations, Miss Aquaria. So the bottom two was really a gag, and it was once more the Vixen and Monique Hart. And the song that they lip-synced to was Cut to the Feeling by Carly Rae Jepsen. I honestly have never heard this song until this episode, so that was very interesting. And at first I was like, okay, you know, this is going to be a good one. Monique is so stunning. She's so amazing. Like, how could this possibly go wrong? And then she, like, didn't lip-sync, like, at least half the song. And she took her wig off. Like, it just really devolved really, really quickly. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And, I mean, honestly, after that, it was very, very clear who was going to win. And I'm not mad about it, because I love the Vixen. But I am sad because I really love Monique. And to see her go home right now was really, really disappointing. I couldn't believe it. But... you know, Vixen was declared the winner. Her lip sync was obviously better. She knew the lyrics, and so here we are. Next week, I am very, very excited because it is going to be a Cher musical, bitch. That is going to be incredible. I cannot wait. You know you want to see this because Cher is amazing, and anything they could possibly do with Cher. Also, why was Cher not in Divas of the World, or, yeah, why was Cher not in that VH1 Divas Lip Sync Live thing? Like, I feel like Cher should have been there instead of Miss Stevie Nicks, but, like, still don't get why Madonna wasn't there either, Ru. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me who your favorite queen was. And please give me a subscribe. I am loving doing these, and I'm actually getting back into it. I feel like the season has gotten better, thankfully, now. Like, we've crossed that bridge where it's not as, like, awful as it started out. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay shady.